Don't miss out on grabbing this really nice legendary mace, as you can grab it pretty early in the start of Act 2, as it is located in a hidden trapped area, so a lot of people might miss it. Pretty amazing, as it will res you if you die and heal your teammates nearby, as well as having a pretty nice passive ability of providing light and blinding undead creatures within a certain radius. It's also got another ability on top of that, which does damage and blinds creatures. This is in the start of Act 2, the Mountain Pass route anyway, as you can also enter Act 2 via the Underdark, and this is just a little bit north as soon as you enter the Mountain Pass area. It's located in the Creche, which is part of Lissel's quest. So to me, it was a little bit of a maze the first time I was running around there, and can definitely be a little confusing, so I came back and recorded it and tried to make it as least confusing as possible. There's multiple ways to enter and exit out of the monastery, which can be pretty confusing, but if you're starting at the waypoint here, which is the very start, you can climb these vines and enter in through the section here that's being blocked by some wood. If you just destroy the wood, then you can jump through, but there will be a bunch of like psychic cats in there that have invisibility and do a lot of damage, and you don't want to use magic against them because it just buffs them up, so you just want to use physical attacks. You can jump down from this top ledge to get to the bottom floor, which you will take some damage, but you should just continue heading over here on the middle floor here, as this is where the puzzle is at, and you need to find 3 other ceremonial weapons, as the sword's already there. When you get the ceremonial weapons, you want to match them with the stained glass pitchers, and the one that has the broken glass there should be the battle axe. But they're really hard to throw on there, and half the time they don't even want to let you allow them to be thrown.
Son in Lathander's name. Dawnmaster Vasaid wielding. The rest of the inscription and picture has shattered away.
So in order to find the battle axe, it's right over here. You'd have to do a little jump and then jump through this room with the guardian. You could break the obstacles in the way, but you can easily just jump through it as well. Once you pick up the weapon, that's when the guardian there will attack you. Once you get that, head on out of there, and you can head up these vines here, and there will be 2 eagles guarding another weapon. You can talk to them with a potion or spell and get them to not attack you, but once you get so close to their nest, they end up attacking you anyway, so I ended up killing them, and there's a blue jay that was pretty happy about it, as they ended up taking over his nest, and he said he would reward you, but I still haven't found that reward yet. Once you have the hammer, then you want to make your way down to the bottom floor, and you can take this route here and just jump over the stairs, and that's the easiest way to get there, but there's like probably 10 different ways. Once you're on the bottom floor, you can pull this lever to open up the main doors there, so you can get in and out a little bit easier. And on the bottom floor is a room that you can jump through the window, and in that room is a bunch of alcohol with a bunch of little creatures in there, and they're getting drunk off of the alcohol, but one of the creatures in one of the barrels has the last item that you need, which is the mace. You just gotta be careful, as any kind of fire damage will just basically set the whole room on fire. Which will make it pretty easy to take them out and set yourself on fire. So I looked quite a while and I couldn't find the mace. I either ended up selling it or dropped it somewhere that I just couldn't find, I don't know. But apparently you can still use any other magical weapon in its replacement, as long as it's the same kind. The weapons are really hard to throw on there too, as they don't really line up, and majority of the time it just won't even let you throw it on there.
Smile and pain will fade away. Words of mine will turn to ash when you call the last light down. Moon reminds me of your grace, all the love I can't repay. Rest and know that I will pray. Farewell, my dear old friend.
So after trying for quite a while, I just looked over there at the door and tried to open it, and just realized that I could just lockpick it. It does have a pretty steep requirement of 30 though, so if you don't have a pretty high lockpicking skill, it might be pretty hard to do. I had something like 17 lockpicks though, so I didn't mind just busting up a few of them without having to reload a bunch of times. Within there is a item that you need in order to disable the trap, otherwise you'll most likely die when you try to grab this weapon. It's the first time my whole squad just died and it said game over. You can potentially still disable the device or escape, but it is pretty hard and I didn't figure it out, as there's like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 things that you have to break and they're pretty tough. And you have a time counter of only 4 turns to do it, so it's pretty hard.
The blood of Lathander. They probably don't mean it literally, unfortunately.
Now you'll bring the item into the Crescia Stronghold, and you'll find that on the bottom floor there. Just want to head down these stairs, and you can just talk your way through the whole thing basically until you get to the very last chamber there. My last video covers all those interactions, and I think you should just give up the artifact, as it unlocks some pretty unique scenes, and you also get a very rare spell as well as some other items, and your Dream Visitor also gives you a buff for that last fight there, so it's definitely worth it, as well as getting to keep the artifact on top of that. So in this last room that's to the left here, you'll find 2 statues, and you'll detect them automatically if you have a high enough perception. There are some clues throughout the monastery that talk about these statues, and there's also a clue right beneath them as well on the little plaque there.
The statue starts to rotate, but its rusty mechanism jams stuck. Lathander blesses the rising, bountiful sun. Lathander bids the setting sun a fond farewell.
Mentions the one to the right, favoring the sun rising, and the sun rises in the east, so if you face it backwards, that would be the east. And the one opposite mentions favoring the sun setting, so that would be in the west, so you would face it forward. Only problem is the one to the left is rusted, so you need either some grease vial. I was initially putting like vials of oils for weapons on there, and that didn't work, so I had to use a grease spell, and that did the trick. Once you have both of these statues in the correct direction, then the wall will reveal a hidden passageway. Once inside, there's a few traps and force field doors. You just have to destroy the power sources and disable the traps. First one's pretty easy, it's right next to the door. The second one, you want to walk around through the back on the rocks and just come around the side. Then you want to disable the trap and then the power source, which is a little bit further down on the rocks there. You have to kind of stand on this ledge to see it here. Once inside, you want to make sure to click on the little thing that says crest panel. It's pretty easy to miss, and initially I didn't even see it. I just grabbed the mace, even though it gave me a warning, and I had the key. I'll leave that scene at the end of the video if anyone wants to check it out. Hopefully this helps you to get this amazing weapon. Take it easy, be well, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Ornate mace hovers before you, suspended in a shaft of brilliant light. A fist-sized piece of amber flecked with crimson is set in the handle, emitting a radiance all its own. This mace certainly has a very unusual design. You recall all the measures meant to keep you from reaching this place. Taking this mace would surely lead to something quite disastrous. Everything is in motion. All within these walls are doomed to destruction unless you act.
Get me out of this thing before the whole building collapses! I'll get them free. You find a way out of here.